Kia ora. Tuatahi tēnei te mihi atu rā ki te mauri kei roto i tō tātou whare i tēnei wā. He mauri no tātou katoa. Tua atu o tēnā, e mihi atu ana rā ki ngā kaihaka haere o tō tātou huihuinga. Kia koutou e herewini. Kia koutou katoa, kia tātou katoa, ko taimai. Ahoi no, tōku ingoa ko rangi Mārie i ngā wā katoa. Naida Glavish. Ko kaipara te moana, ko puatahi te marae, ko hoti o te awa, ko maunga atua te maunga, ko Ngāti Hine te hapu, me Ngāti Tirino, ko Ngāti Whātua te iwi. Tuatu i tēnā, te taha ki taku pāpā. My grandmother hails from the coast of Croatia, from a little town called Drivnik. My grandfather hails from Croatia, from a little town called Kotsica. And so in the north they call us Tarara. And that's who I am. Tēnei te mihi atu rā, kia koutou, kia tātou katoa. In 1835, e tātou mā, Māori, iwi, signed their first declaration. They signed their first declaration as nations. And that was the Declaration of Independence. Kia kaua ai tātou e wareware ki tēnā. The Declaration of Independence, so that each nation would have the right to sign te tiriti o Waitangi with the Crown now, with England, with Great Britain. But e meana we tahi o Great Britain e hara, ko England ke. E tātou mā, it's been a tumultuous year on the world stage. As a planet, o aroha mai, ko huri au ki roto i te reo tāhai whenua. As a planet, we are confronted with the challenges that we have never before had to face. Climate change, catastrophic weather events, a dramatic shift in the leadership in two key areas of the so-called First World, Brexit in Europe, and the election of Donald Trump in the United States. And now, as we head into the thick of election campaign here in Aotearoa, we are witnessing twists and turns in leadership and the influence of a range of political parties that we have not seen before. In our day-to-day world, the influence of technology on our lives continues to grow at a speed that's hard to fathom, really. So where do the traditions o tātou, tangata whenua, e hara tātou i te Indigenous, he tangata whenua ke tātou. Puta mai e tātou i te whenua o honei. So where do the traditions o tātou and the Indigenous people fit in this fast-moving, fast-changing world? And in turn, what is the relevance of the Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People? No tā wāhi ke tēnā pātai, e harake no tātou. We know what our rights are as tangata whenua, and we have never let those rights go. I believe it is even more relevant than ever before in an uncertain, ever-shifting times. I've had the privilege of travelling all around the world to meet, converse and share challenges and opportunities with Indigenous people. We share so much in our plight and in our struggle for recognition. Through colonisation, and that's the word that's been coming out all day, the colonised and colonisation, and the exploitation of people and resources, Indigenous people became minorities in their own homeland. It only took 2 years from 1840 to 1842 for tangata whenua to become a minority in our own whenua. Kaua ai e ware I tēnā. We need to never forget te tiriti o Waitangi, where our tūpuna had a vision and courage to endure great losses in spite of the many prophecies given by our tohunga of the time. And I'm going to quote Aparaha Mataonui. In 1834, I ki mai ei tēnā poropiti. He tani wha kei te haere mai, ona niho he hiriwa he kaura ko tōna kai he whenua. There is a taniwha on its way. It is a taniwha that will arrive with teeth of silver and gold and an insatiable diet for land. That taniwha was colonisation. He also said, kaua e mataku I te hiriwa me te kaura, fear not the silver and the gold. Engari kaua e tukua te hiriwa me te kaura, hei atua tanga mou. Fear not the silver and the gold. Just do not allow it to become your God. Then he had one more before he died. And his last prophecy we are still dealing with today. That was in 1853. Today we are dealing with that prophecy. And that prophecy is, he taniwha kei te haere mai, he taniwha tai kuhu tai huna. E kore rawa koutou e kitea, kia kitea rānau I ngā kanuhi a o mokopuna. Ina taiki tēnā, kaua e patua I o mokopuna. Engari hipoki ngā ke ki te korowai aroha a te whānau. There is a demon on its way. It is a demon that will arrive stealthily. It is a demon that will arrive deviously. You will not even see it coming. You will not even know that it's here until you see it in the eyes of your mokopuna. We know that that demon is drugs, and we're still trying to deal with it today. However, he ends that prophecy by saying, when you do see it in the eyes of your mokopuna, do not punish your mokopuna, but clothe them with the korowai of love of the whānau. Because the healing process is within the whānau. And we hear Sir Peter Sharples this morning talk about our prisons being full. Those belong to the mental health. He māwiwi ke e nā mea. E hara mō ngā prihimana. Kia mauhere ngia I wā tātou mokopuna. That prophecy was said then. And one, of course, I was raised by a grandmother. That means you get raised 2 generations ahead of yourself. And sometimes that's an advantage because you can kind of get spoilt. You don't have to go hi tuna. The tuna comes to you. You kind of don't have to do a lot of things when you're raised by a grandparent. I am the mother of 3 daughters and 2 sons. From 2 daughters and 2 sons, I am the grandmother of 19 mokopuna. 13 grandsons and 6 witches. But they're the bosses. And from those mokopuna, I am the great-grandmother of 27 greats. 14 great-grandsons and 13 great-grand-witches on their way. And next year I'll have 29. I think that's called immortality guaranteed. However, with that comes a lot of responsibility. With that comes a lot of responsibility to ensure that the prophecy of Apiraha Mataonui is heard by every one of them. My grandmother, her prophecy to me was, ina kite koe te tahi mea he, hakatikangia. Ina kore ko rite koe ki taua he. If you see something wrong, then you have a responsibility to correct it. Because if you don't, you will become like it. And I got enough wrong of my own without wanting to inherit anybody else's. Anyway, that treaty of ours was, and those prophecies was 177 years ago. The pain of our loss, of our ways of life, of our whenua has been immense. And just that word alone, whenua, e tātou mā. It is no mistake that our beautiful reo, which speaks of concepts, our beautiful reo, the name of the placenta that our babies lay in while in the womb of their mothers, is called whenua. And while our babies are in the wombs of their mothers, they're in the highest university of learning that they will ever be in. The highest university of learning. So if we care about our tomorrow, if we care about our unborn mokopuna, then for God's sake, look after the mothers. We can all share that pain, but also we can share the similarities in our traditions. And as far as us in Aotearoa, I have seen much that we hold in common with peoples across the Pacific and continents of North and South America, Australia, and even India. If we go back far enough in time, we were without a doubt closely connected. Whatever your beliefs surrounding the origins and migrations of humankind, there is one thing that all Indigenous people held in common, and that is the fact, excuse me, e mara me haere au te inu wai, kei rawa. Aroha mai. It was good to drink that water. Every nation in this country of ours had a puna. Every one of us. Ngā mihi. We all share a relationship to space and time. A tupuna whom we know to be te wā. Do you know the boss of all of us? Ko taua tūpunara, ko te wā. Te wā me haere ki te kai, te wā me noho kāinga, te wā me haere ki pōneke, te wā ko ia tera ko te tūpuna o ngā tūpuna katoa e tātou ma, ko te wā. Where we respect and hold dear our relationships that go back millennia. And we care deeply about our generations yet to come. The unborn mokopuna, who will eventually become the tūpuna of their time. There is a special karanga e tātou mā when our babies are being born. My 19 mokopuna, I was at the birth of 13 of those 19, and I taught my whānau, kia karangahi ai te kanuhi a tō tūpuna ki tēnei ao. So a baby is being born, brand new baby being born, coming from the highest university of learning, the wombs of their mother. Of course they deserve a karanga to this, our huri that we are in. And so each mokopuna had their own precious and special karanga to this world. And the same applies ki ngā mokopuna tuarua. Kia karangahi ai ki roto ki tēnei ao. Tēnei ao huri o tātou. And even the mokopuna that were born in Australia, in Melbourne, and thank you for looking after my mokopuna. Ngā whenua katoa. Every one of those whenua is back where mine is. Every one of them. I was born in the front seat of my father's Studebaker car. You know how long ago that was? There ain't no Studebakers on the road anymore. Anyway, it was just before arriving at a hospital in Mahurangi. My grandmother came and wrapped up the whenua and took the whenua home, buried the whenua back home. Then the grandmother came, wrapped up the baby. There was no MSD in those days, no SIFs, nobody to dare say no. Wrapped up the baby and took the baby. I'm glad she didn't bury it with the whenua. And that's what's happened to all my mokopuna and my mokopuna tuarua. It is that different relationship to time and space that has us differ from the locked-down linear time frames of Western general stream thought, government and business. But I believe it is our timeless connections to our people and our planet that has so much to offer a world struggling for direction. I believe general stream society, excuse me, Mara. I believe general stream society is lost. People are trying to figure out meaning, identify values, and find frameworks to survive in this world of change. Indigenous people with our holistic worldview that always takes account of the trinity of wairua, hinengaro, and tinana can offer solace, peace, and leadership. Despite our struggles, or perhaps because of them, we staunchly defend our traditions. Our traditions will always be rooted in people and planet, the earth, our environment. Our traditions with an intrinsic connection to ngā tāngata, to people, and to the whenua in our hearts, our minds, our bodies, remain steadfast. We do not waver from our ancient tikanga, ever. And so for those who are uncertain and are looking for a way to navigate a complex and confusing world, we can offer warmth, connection in a holistic way that holds the potential to guide the well-being of all. Our knowledge of ourselves and where we are from has so much to offer. Indigenous people are more relevant than ever before. And in a globalized world, wherever we find an increasingly diverse mix of cultures, of beliefs, of genders, of abilities in our cities, our towns, and our countryside, Indigenous people, through their hard-wired considerations of the collective ahead of the individual, can offer an inclusive way forward. There's still a long way to go. For Māori and for Indigenous people everywhere, we still show up disproportionately in the negative statistics measuring society. But at the same time, as we move closer and closer to concluding treaty settlements throughout the motu, I am seeing the rise and rise of our rangatahi as leaders who move comfortably in both Te Ao Māori and the general stream world. They are becoming more and more adept at the navigation required to have the best of both worlds. They are bringing together the best of both worlds so they can create one world where mana is restored and the evolutionary advances achieved in science, technology, the arts are woven into the ancient fabric of our timeless practice and law. There are people here today far more learned than I am regards research and evaluation who can pinpoint how the Declaration can advantage Indigenous peoples from a practical perspective. But what I do know is this: consistency and repetition support change. So the more that the rights of the Indigenous people are on the radar and are acknowledged, the more a groundswell can grow. The inclusion of our language te reo in all areas of public life is crucial. And we should never forget te tātou mā. There's not enough of it, but reo Māori is a reo of this country. It's a legal reo in this country. So no one's ever going to take it from us, and I agree with Sir Peter I te ata nei. Kei a tātou ke, te haka tupu ake i tō tātou reo, i roto i te kāinga. But also because the world can benefit so much from a language that is full of concepts and metaphor that are steeped in the timeless values that are key to our humanity. At the risk of veering into the vexing world of politics and woe betide your molly whoppy, it is interesting to contrast the names of political parties, for instance. What do the words national or Labour mean to anybody today? It's just a word, really. They are rooted in colonization and an industrial age from a very short period of time in our history. But if we look at words such as Māori or mana, they stand for something. To be Māori is to be natural. To have mana is to be valid. And there are layers and layers of meaning and interpretation available for those two words. They stand for something timeless. They are concepts based on tikanga, on values and on principles. And sure, we can stray from our values, as all politicians frequently do. But if our values are present at the heart of the language, we can find our way back. For ultimately, the survival and expression of our culture is the heart of what it means to be human. When we look to our principles such as manaakitanga, every nation in this country has a kaupapa, and there are 70 nations, as I remember, registered today. And they have a kaupapa, every one of them. And that kaupapa is manaaki manuhiri. Hakwa, ko wai te manuhiri manaaki hia. Tai mai he tangata ki tō whare, whāngai ia. Even if it's the last toast you got left in your house. Whāngai ia. Of course, an uncle of mine disagreed when it was the policeman who arrived. And my grandmother ignored him and me put on the jug, put on the kettle I te rawa and made a cup of tea for the fella coming to give her son a fine. Engari tēnā he manaaki. This is to be concerned always for the well-being of the collective. Even our adversaries, they are at the heart of a healthy, thriving society that cares and that shares. Yes, the declaration is more relevant, relevant than before. And yes, we can live and learn from our common experience as tangata whenua, as Indigenous people around the world, while acknowledging our difference in our unique identities. Hoi no hihi anau te hakamutu ake I waku kororo I ngā kororo o tāhimi tau, Sir James Henare. Tawhiti rawa tō tātou haerenga te kore haere tonu, maha rawa wā tātou mahi te kore mahi tonu. We have come too far to not go further, and we have done too much to not do more. Nō reira e tātou mā, I just finish off with my own waiata, because I can't see anybody out there wanting to jump up and sing me one. So e harau e tuana I roto o te kaipara. Ka tahi, ka rua, tangi hanga a te manu nei. Tāna tangi ki te iwi, me tui, tui, tātou katoa. Kua rongo hoki ahau ki te manu I woho nei. Tāna tangi ki te iwi, whiti, whiti, ora tātou e tātou ngā.